Superstitions are ancient beliefs that often have no scientific basis but are passed down through generations as part of a culture's spiritual or social fabric. One such belief is the superstition about whistling indoors, which is prevalent in several cultures, particularly in Russia. In Russian tradition, whistling inside the house is thought to bring bad luck, financial misfortune, or even invite evil spirits. While it may seem strange to those unfamiliar with the superstition, the cultural context of this belief reveals a deeper connection to folklore, societal values, and metaphysical anxieties about wealth, prosperity, and unseen forces. This video explores the origins, symbolism, and cross-cultural manifestations of the belief, focusing on the Russian interpretation and how it has influenced other regions and modern life. Whistling is a seemingly harmless act, often associated with music, lightheartedness, and self-expression. However, in Russia, whistling indoors takes on a much more ominous meaning. The roots of this belief can be traced back to Slavic folklore, where the act of whistling was tied to supernatural forces. In early Slavic paganism, it was believed that whistling could summon winds and spirits. The winds, often personified as deities or spirits in Slavic mythology, were thought to carry both good and bad fortunes depending on the context. Whistling, especially in an enclosed space like a home, could disturb these spirits, bringing unintended consequences. In the past, homes were seen as sacred spaces, protecting individuals from the outside world and its many dangers, both physical and metaphysical. The home was where the family lived and was protected by domestic spirits or domovoi, benevolent household guardians in Slavic folklore. Whistling indoors was seen as a way to offend these spirits, disrupting the balance of the household and inviting malevolent forces to enter. This association with financial misfortune may also stem from the symbolic role of the domovoi, who were believed to guard the family's prosperity. By upsetting them, people risked losing their good fortune. One of the most persistent aspects of this superstition in Russia is the belief that whistling indoors invites financial misfortune. In Russian culture, it is said that whistling inside will whistle away your money. This concept might have evolved from the ancient understanding of whistling as something that disturbed the balance of the universe. In a practical sense, the whistle is a fleeting sound that quickly disappears into the air, much like money slipping out of one's hands or opportunities fading away. The association with financial loss may also have been reinforced during periods of hardship in Russian history. For example, during times of economic instability or scarcity, superstitions surrounding money became more pronounced. Whistling indoors could be seen as frivolous or careless behavior, especially in contrast to the seriousness of maintaining one's wealth or resources. The belief may have functioned as a way to encourage responsible behavior and caution when it came to financial matters. In addition to bringing bad luck and financial misfortune, whistling indoors is also thought to invite evil spirits. The sound of whistling, sharp and piercing, was believed to be a way to attract attention from otherworldly entities. In Russian folklore, whistling was sometimes associated with the devil or with malevolent forces that wandered the earth. By whistling indoors, a person risked inviting these forces into their home, where they could wreak havoc on their family's well-being. This belief is not unique to Russia. Many cultures across the world have their own variations of the superstition, where whistling is thought to have spiritual or metaphysical consequences. In Japan, for instance, whistling at night is believed to summon snakes or bad spirits, while in some parts of Africa, whistling is linked to invoking spirits of the dead. The common thread in these beliefs is the idea that whistling is a sound that crosses the boundary between the physical and spiritual worlds, potentially disturbing the natural order. The superstition surrounding whistling indoors is not confined to Russia but appears in various forms across the globe. Though the specific consequences vary from culture to culture, the act of whistling is often tied to the supernatural, financial well-being, or bad luck. In Japan, whistling at night is associated with danger, particularly the summoning of snakes or evil spirits. This belief is deeply rooted in traditional Japanese folklore, where whistling is viewed as a sound that attracts unwanted entities, especially during the dark hours when supernatural creatures are thought to be more active. In Turkey, it is believed that whistling at night calls demons or jinns, supernatural beings, to the home. The Turkish culture, much like in Russia, views the home as a protected space, and whistling threatens this sacred boundary by attracting malevolent forces that could cause harm to the family. In Estonia, the belief is similar to that in Russia. Whistling indoors is considered to bring bad luck or financial troubles. In rural areas, this superstition was particularly strong, as whistling was believed to summon bad weather or cause disruptions in nature. In Korea, whistling at night is discouraged, as it is thought to invite ghosts or spirits. Like in Japan, the nighttime is viewed as a time when the boundaries between the physical and spiritual worlds are thinner, and sounds like whistling could disturb the peace. In the Philippines, the act of whistling, especially in forests or remote areas, is believed to attract supernatural beings, such as elves or spirits. It's common for people to avoid whistling when they are alone, as it could summon these beings to follow them. In modern times, many people view the superstition of whistling indoors with skepticism, seeing it as an outdated or irrational belief. As societies become more secular and scientific in their thinking, superstitions like this one are often regarded as relics of a bygone era. However, even in contemporary Russia and other countries where this belief persists, the superstition retains a certain psychological power. For many people, superstitions provide a way to make sense of the world, especially in situations where control is limited. The act of refraining from whistling indoors may be a small gesture, but it can offer a sense of security or comfort in uncertain times. This is especially true in situations related to financial uncertainty or stress, where avoiding certain actions like whistling can feel like taking proactive steps to safeguard one's wealth, even if the logic behind it is purely symbolic. The continued adherence to superstitions like whistling indoors can also be understood through the lens of psychology. Superstitions often arise in situations where people feel a lack of control over their environment. In such circumstances, performing a certain ritual or avoiding certain actions can give individuals a sense of agency, even if the connection between the action and the outcome is illogical. This is known as illusory correlation, where people mistakenly associate two unrelated events such as whistling and financial loss because they occur in proximity. Furthermore, superstitions often serve as coping mechanisms. In a world where financial stability can be unpredictable, small rituals like not whistling indoors provide a way to mitigate anxiety. By adhering to these beliefs, individuals can feel as though they are taking steps to protect themselves and their families from harm. The superstition of whistling indoors, particularly in Russia, is a fascinating example of how ancient beliefs continue to influence modern behavior. While many people may dismiss such practices as irrational, they persist because they provide a sense of control and connection to cultural heritage. Whether viewed as a relic of Slavic folklore or a practical guideline for preserving financial stability, the belief in the consequences of indoor whistling reveals much about the human need to make sense of the unknown. Though the superstition may be less relevant in today's scientifically driven society, it remains a powerful reminder of the role that tradition and belief play in shaping everyday actions. By examining the origins, cultural significance, and psychological aspects of this superstition, we gain a deeper understanding of how such beliefs persist and continue to influence people's lives across generations and cultures. Thanks for watching our video.